Welcome back to my Clearday's channel, solving the aging crisis facing our population across North America. Joining us today to talk about recent valuations coming out of some intriguing aspects of their business, along with talking a little bit about the vision and the significance of the future. Here we got Jim, the Chief Executive Officer, as always. Welcome back, sir.
Man, Kyle, you are full of energy. You must have doubled up on your caffeine this morning. Great to hear from you. Hello, everybody out there. Kyle, that's a great question. It allows me to unpack many things. First, let's start with what we are. We came from operators' roots. So the pain points that people have when they're operating residential care communities, I'm keenly aware of. I think we've talked before, but it never hurts to recap. Every day, people, 3.5 million Americans are being taken care of residential care communities. And those communities generate $12 billion of revenue every month just on rents. The total TAM of what we're going after, and I like to call it the low-hanging fruit because I know it well, is $278 billion. So if you could just imagine we got 0.0007%, we'd be in a wonderful place. So let's talk about that crisis, though, before I dive into our solution. As I just mentioned, there's a lot of money spent in this space, but the biggest issue is I went around the Southeast the last few weeks. So if my voice is a little hoarse, Kyle, I apologize. I feel like I've been talking, is there's not enough caregivers. There's one caregiver, Kyle, for every 43 job openings. And that's not getting any better with the Great Resignation, the quiet quitting, and all those other terms we have now. So what we looked at as an operator is a solution that provides better engagement, stimulation, takes care of people who have behavior issues. We cut our teeth, as a reminder, Kyle, in the cognitive care or dementia or Alzheimer's space. Some of the hardest people to work with because their brain is evaporating backwards. Their short-term memory suffers. And sometimes you'll have a conversation with them and you'll think it's completely normal. And then they'll come back 10 minutes later and ask you the same question. We call that redirecting. What we want to do is help those caregivers learn how to do things like redirect. We've put together thousands of hours of streaming platform available to both caregivers professional as well as caregivers at home on how to deal with the issue when these diagnoses are happening. And currently, there's one dementia diagnosis every 59 seconds. Just let that sink in. Our solution, again, there's a rapidly aging population. We've put together what I like to call, for old school dudes like me, the Library of Congress of Care, where we have access to all types of video streams, therapeutic streams, to help be a better caregiver, to help for better patient experience, as well as how the families can learn more about what they're dealing with it. We call it edutainment and interactivity. Now, sometimes people will go, what's he talking about? The life in one of these care communities revolves around waking up, eating, going to the bathroom, eating, maybe watching Turner Classic Movie, getting ready to eat, get put to bed. That's life, not anything to look forward to. We want to bring companionship. One of the ways we do it is through our autonomous care companion, Mitra. And by the way, Mitra stands for Trusted Companion. Mitra can be seen on our website at myclearday.com. And what that does is it allows us to have immersion opportunities. We've talked about it before, Kyle. One of the most important times a person moves into these communities is the first 30 days. And of ultra importance is the first 72 hours. So we've developed applications through our robotics, through our Clearday at Home software platform to make that immersion experience better and better. And yes, some of it's entertainment, some of it's mind gains, some of it's physical fitness. Today, there is nobody, Kyle, looking out for what I call the front of the house solution. There's a lot of people who want to provide back of the house solutions, HR software, financial software. The customer doesn't care about that, Kyle. What they care about is, how do you take care of my mom or grandma? So with us, our platform as a service, it's a subscription service, And what we do is we bring our core products in there. Our best test, as a reminder, Kyle, best stands for behavior, engagement, stimulation, and temperament. We see where a person is in their own journey, and then we put a digital care map together for them and have the best pathways for where they are. Now, we've been using AI for a long time, Kyle. I've said that to you. This is not a new rodeo for us. This whole chat GPT-4, we were on 3.0 when we started this. And we use our AI to take what people are engaging with, watch it, and it adjusts automatically to how their journey changes. So we have people who've been using our stuff for a year and a half, and their digital care map has shifted along with them without us having to do anything. It's just automatic through our platform. And that platform is of course, involves our companion robotics, but it also can be delivered via smart TV, pads, all different types of ways, which is what we showed in our Center of Innovation down in Naples. We'll be ready to show that to the public in about 2 to 3 months, but it was a great soft opening that we shared with our Vivian guys. And then the last thing we try to have is what we call proprietary interactive content. And what that is give you a great example. I was just in the community, got back late last night. So again, I apologize for my voice. And at the end of lunch, many times people who are later in their journey, their ability to stay engaged lasts a minute or two. And when they're no longer engaged, they either get up and get anxious or they check out. So we've developed what we call a leader of engagement technology in our innovation center. She runs around with our dedicated trademark pad with all of our content in there. And she'll sit down with somebody. We've taught her how to approach people with dementia. So it's people working with technology, and she'll sit and put the platform, the pad in front of her. And, I know this is going to sound crazy, but we've had people who would pay no attention to anything because they're checked out, and we'll get them to watch something for 5 minutes. And as I said to Justine, you started out at 5, let's go for 6, let's go for 7. They didn't get into that issue overnight, Kyle. So you're not going to solve it overnight. Those are just some of the examples that Vivian was blown away by in their morning and afternoons with us the last few days.
Yeah, definitely appreciate the instance. That was very informal. And speaking of Vivian, they're your merger partner, and they increased your valuation with focus on your center of innovation with your platform as a service. Can you offer a little bit more information on Vivian, how they kind of stumbled onto you, and exactly what they're doing, and just kind of reiterate some of that for us? If you don't mind.
The founders or sponsors, the core founders are Ron Papadopoulos and Juggy Gill. Both come from a healthcare background. Ram is a MD and has practiced through the Emory healthcare system in Georgia. And Juggy is also an MD, neurologist, and he hangs his hat up in Minnesota at the Mayo Clinic. And Juggy comes from medical device, as does Ram. They have been involved in startups in the medical device space. Juggy's taken a company from no sales to 500 million in a 5-year period of time. He then retired from that business when he was given an offer that was too great to turn down, and came over to the special purpose acquisition corp called Vivian Healthcare. And he has been an integral part of why we are very excited in this merger. Candidly, my background is finance and healthcare. I've never led an enterprise sales team. So it would be crazy on my part to think at my current age, which I know I look young and sound young, that I'm going to be able to learn how to recruit, train, and supervise an enterprise sales team over the next 3 years that can cover the whole country. Because remember, our market is 54,000 communities. If we get 0.007% of that, as our deck states, that'd be $100 million a year company. And we were being valued on where we'll be in 2 years, not where we've been. The unfortunate thing about us, or fortunate, we were undiscovered gem. They reviewed 65 other companies before they chose us earlier this year. And we're very excited. From the first time we met them, Kyle, it's not us against you, it's we're in this together. And when we have issues, they help us. When I have issues, I try to help them, or when they have issues, I try to help them. So even though we're not together, we are already. It's a wonderful relationship.
Well, on that note, as always, I'll pass the question off to the viewers. We'd love to know what you think about all this in that comment section below. Definitely consider subscribing. A lot of news. There's a lot coming down the wire here, and we're always going to bring it to you. So definitely hit the subscribe button. But as always, we look forward to catching you in the next one.